I need to get my sleeping bag on.
Watch out, Alex, watch out, watch out!
Myself and two good friends, Archie and Rollo, decided one day that we'd go on an adventure to escape the busyness and stresses of normal life. So on an early October morning, we jumped in the car and started driving north, out of England and deep into the Scottish wilderness. We didn't really have a plan, we just wanted to live simply and be outdoors for a few days. The drive took over 10 hours, so we stopped halfway at a beautiful lake to cook up some breakfast. Later that day we arrived, surrounded by pine forests and clear flowing rivers. Before we set off backpacking into the forest, we stopped in a little cafe for our last bit of luxury.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Oh wow.
So good.
Luxury before we head into the forest. What have you got?
Got hot chocolate with far too much cream. And
So good.
this Vicky.
Yeah, we're not going to be seeing any of that once we're in the forest.
Go milk a can. We'll find a way.
Look where we are, this place is beautiful. We're going to be heading into the forest for the next few days. Hopefully we'll survive. Right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. See how long we can survive for. We're just hiking into the forest, looking for somewhere to camp. And we found some edible mushrooms, some hedgehog fungus, which I've never eaten before, but I've heard they're pretty good. There's actually quite a few. So I'm gonna pick them and keep them for when we need them later on in the week. We've obviously got some food with us, but you know, it's good to get some bonus food from the forest. They're called hedgehog fungus because of their hedgehog-like underneath. Oh yes, Archie, what have you got there? They're definitely hedgehogs.
Yeah. 100%.
We are 100% sure what these are, so we're gonna eat them. But don't just go picking any old mushroom in the forest. That's not a good idea.
Oh, that's so good.
After collecting a good bunch of mushrooms, we started hiking again, deeper into the forest. We were soon met with a river in our way, but luckily a stepping stone helped us across. This has been a hike and a half through pretty much everything. Oh wow, we just found some cool looking mushrooms. It's alive with them at the moment.
Oh boy, the bag's broken.
One broken bag and 2 hours later, and we're in the middle of nowhere. With the light fading, we needed to find somewhere to sleep. Unfortunately, the steep terrain and boggy ground wasn't ideal for camping, but we had to make do and get a camp set up and a fire on to dry off our clothes. We planned to look for a more ideal spot the following day. The walk down to this particular spot was eventful, to say the least. We trekked through some pretty harsh terrain, including rivers, bogs, and thick forest. But we eventually got here absolutely soaking wet. But we just got the fire going, which is lovely. And I got some clothes drying on a little drying rack we just put together. But This is pretty cool. We're in the middle of nowhere. So far away from anything. Let's hope nothing goes wrong, because we've got no one to help us if it does. None of us got much sleep that night. The wet moss we slept on soaked us through, and the steep ground made it impossible to get some proper rest. Our aim for today was to find a better camp spot. We fueled up with food and got ready for the long day ahead. Just arrived at where we think we're gonna set up camp tonight, and it happens to be right on a good mushroom spot. We've got loads of hedgehog mushrooms.
Oh no!
And look at all of these!
It goes all the way around as well.
No way! Yeah, this way.
Whoa, that's a big one. Oh, watch out.
Ew, timber.
Whoa, we got firewood.
Oh, that
was a beast.
That was a
and now this one.
beastie.
Yep. Control.
So you might think we are absolutely crazy for doing that, but there's a reason. These are completely dead trees, and we wanted to set up camp here, and it's going to be stormy tomorrow, so
And this is going to be part of our shelter.
yeah, we don't want it to fall on us in the storm. But now these two trees are out the way, we're going to build the shelter. We managed to get the frame of the shelter built that afternoon, plus some insulation, which kept out the cold wind. However, a lot more work had to be done on the waterproofing. We found that out the hard way during the following night. Ah, there's a midge which is like so far inside my ear. It must be like in my brain by now.
Oh, brain juices.
We lit the fire in preparation for dinner, and you guessed it, we were having mushrooms again.
Oh, these are looking so good. Oh, I'm so gassed on how good this cooking fire is.
Over the next couple of days, we started to feel more at home, cooking over the fire, washing up in the stream, and working on our shelter. One of the days, we also hiked up a hill near our camp to get a better view of the surrounding area. Well, the other guys have decided to climb these 2 big trees whilst on our little hike. Archie is nearly at the top. Whoa, look at them.
We should definitely get some more wood on the fire and then some clothes on here so we can dry it all off.
I need to get my sleeping bag on.
Watch out, Alex! Watch out! Watch out! Whoa. Oh my god!
Are you serious?
What? Are you kidding?
That was... I was standing here.
Jesus Christ, Alex. That's ridiculous.
That
That would have been my head.
Oh my god.
I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
What the
I was pretty shaken by that near miss. Perhaps we should have felled a few more of the dead trees around our camp. It was day 4, and after many hours of work, the shelter now had side walls and a moss roof, which made for a real cosy place to sit away from the wind and rain. Would you recommend other people going into the woods and trying to survive?
You can try, but you probably have a pretty miserable time.
You sold that.
You sold that. I think everyone watching this video is going to go out and give it a go.
Go into the woods if it's nice weather. Go into the woods if it's nice weather.
It's a bit harder when it's rainy and wet.
Forecast looks good though, boys, luckily.
That was a very sarcastic statement there. By Mushroom Cutter.
But luckily we got loads of mushrooms, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, that cheers us up.
Although, I'm going to be pretty sick of these. I mean, look how many we've got. We've got this plate. That's going to have to be full.
That's plate number 1.
Then we've got a plate there.
And plate number 3 is just coming up.
What did we have last night?
Mushrooms.
And what did we have for breakfast the day before?
Mushrooms. The day before that?
I think we're going a bit mental from all these mushrooms. They're supposed to be a delicacy, but we're ruining it.
That evening, we sat around the fire for our last supper before we had to return home. We spoiled ourselves that night and used up the last of our mushrooms, with the added bonus of some pasta and some fresh flatbreads. Currently rolling out some flatbreads with the famous grouse Scottish whiskey that we foraged earlier in the bushes. I promise.
Making mashed potato. Lovely bit of slop. I'd like to hear an owl now.
Yeah. Oh man, I just feel so fulfilled right now. Like, we foraged mushrooms, we made a fire, we made a shelter.
Yeah.
It's just pretty cool.
If you paid loads of money for like the best hotel ever, you'd be pissed off if something was slightly wrong. And if you were camping, and it was like raining and your tent was slightly leaky or whatever, you'd be really pissed off.
Yeah.
But when you've literally got nothing, the smallest thing makes you happy, and anything going right makes you happy.
Exactly,
I couldn't be more chuffed right now. The fact that I'm able to sit here eating pasta with bad, like kind of dodgy tasting mushrooms.
With
And also-
dirty river water.
And also able to dry my wet socks on my legs over the fire at the same time. Like, that's making me so happy compared to if I spent like loads on a fancy hotel.
It's been wet, it's been tiring, it's been a journey, it's been an emotional ride. Cool, let's go. Back home, back down south. We waved goodbye to our camp, put out the fire and trekked back to the car. We were soaking wet, covered in mud, but in surprisingly high spirits. One thing I think we all learned over the past 5 days was to appreciate the simple things: shelter, fire, food, and good company. It was worth going on this adventure to be reminded that sometimes you don't need much to be happy.